In this tutorial we're going to talk about RhinoNest. It's a plugin for Rhino that saves you a lot of time when it comes to fitting existing pieces of the geometry into some plane or drawing that you would need for laser cutting or something similar. Basically what it does is if you have a lot of these kind of different pieces that need to be laser cut, and you have a certain plane that you want to fit them in, for example here, because this may be your surface where your material for laser cutting. So in order not to do this manually, like if you want to fit as much as possible, so you don't waste the area, I found out that RhinoNest is one of the best plugins to do this, and basically it will transform all of these objects into the pages like this, depending of course on your specifications of the size of the page and the rotation angles and everything. So I'll show you an example. It doesn't need to be this page. I'll just show you in some random size. So for example, let's just change it a little bit to be a little bit bigger. So let's say that this will be our surface that we want to populate the geometry with. The way it works is you need to have all these pieces as groups. So this needs to be a group and this needs to be a group in order for it to work, or it needs to be a polyline, closed polyline, but then it will just populate the polylines. So it's important, if you have geometry inside, to have it as a group. The next thing is to run the RhinoNest. So now it asks us to select the objects, and we just select all of them, press enter, and then this is telling us how many of these pieces we want to populate. So every piece has number 1, which is the correct number. The next step is to just press enter again. And now it will you go here to next, and then it will ask you for the sheet size, and you want to use unique sheet. Go next, and then you select here, and it will automatically change the size, and you want to have this option checked. Go next, and now the thing that you want to change here is you want to change this freedom to freeform, so it can actually rotate. And this is actually the distance that the parts will have between them, so you can play with this depending on your laser cutting and how precise it is. You can change this. Everything else you can leave the same. You go next and press execute, and now it's actually calculating, and you will see that it will actually start filling up this sheet, and then it will move to the next one and to the next one depending on the time needed. So this usually takes around 5 minutes depending on the amount of geometry that you have. So I will pause this video for now and continue later. So the program finished, and this is the final result. So you can see that the geometry was populated automatically after some 4 or 5 minutes. And this can actually save you a lot of time depending on the design that you have, and depending on the strategy you're using. You wouldn't want to do this manually because it will take a lot of time. So that's why I find this plugin very useful, and I hope you find it too for your projects.